Your voice, your opinion, your community. Fact TV, free speech protected.
Local news, politics, business, sports, arts, music. Mike and Marty on the beat. Mike and Marty.
Good morning, Bells Falls and Keene, and welcome to the feed. We're on a little bit of a different
It's always
tactics.
it's always fun.
Is that
It's
a way
always
of
different.
saying
Yeah,
it?
yeah. Different opening.
We're here today with Mike Cancellieri and Jenn Sell. Knapp. And we're going to be talking about Frontline Foundation here in a minute. But first, Marty with local events.
So, happening at the Bells Falls Opera House, or actually starting this week, is Captain America: Brave New World. So it goes from Friday, February 14th to February 25th. So you got plenty of time to go see the new Captain America. The classic movie tonight at the Opera House is Valentine's Day, which has got a really pretty star-studded cast. That is sponsored, of course, by Holidays, Flowers, and Gifts, because who else do you think of at Valentine's Day? So last week I promoted and talked a lot about the Rotary Spaghetti Dinner that was going to be happening. The keyword is was going to be happening this Saturday, February 15th. Due to the weather forecast, we are choosing to postpone the Rotary Spaghetti Dinner. A lot of the food is donated, and we didn't want to run the dinner and not have a good attendance and then end up wasting a lot of donated items. So we will be looking to reschedule. We just don't have a date yet. We have to coordinate when the most of the Rotary members are available to help out, when we can get into the moose and such. But we will make sure everybody knows. We will post it and do Facebook and all that type stuff. So unfortunately, no Rotary Spaghetti Dinner. But if you want something to do, Flatiron is doing a Defying Gravity, and that is happening on Saturday from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. It is you are encouraged to wear Oz-themed costumes. Tea will be provided, and you can make food purchases if you choose. And this is tea that is sponsored by the Bells Falls Pride. It's a Bells Falls Pride tea party, so. You do have at least, and I don't know if it's happening on Saturday. Maybe they'll cancel too. I don't know.
Yeah. I have a couple things. Election Day is coming up on March 1st or 2nd, and the Democratic Party is trying to organize a candidates forum. It's going to be this next coming Monday, February 17th at 7 p.m. in the library. It will be on Fact TV, so stay tuned to Fact TV so you can get up to date on what's happening with the candidates who will be elected on March 1st. The other thing is on that same day, February 17th, is family picnic at Main Street Arts. It's school vacation, so if you want to look for something to do with your kids, it's a good thing to go out to Saxons River, go to Main Street Arts. It's Stu, the ukulele guy who was on a couple of weeks ago. It's a lot of fun. He's going to be there with his wife playing ukulele, sing along. He's going to have other instruments so that kids can, sort of have a hands-on experience with instruments, and they're going to have food. So check that out at Main Street Arts on Monday the 17th. But now let's talk about Frontline Foundation. You guys, how you doing?
Doing very well. It's been a
minute.
It's been a minute.
So we probably have to refresh the audience.
Yeah, refresh the audience, because you guys came here in 2020, right? And here being the building upstairs, and you've been running programs. And what is your focus? What are you working on?
Yeah, so we work with veterans and first responders and other related professions that deal with some of the same type of traumatic experiences on a day-to-day basis. We do three basic things. We go to fire departments, private ambulance services, police departments, different places like that to provide resiliency skills trainings, in-service trainings, teach people how to cope with some of the accumulation of trauma and stress. Second thing we do is we have 3 clinicians that see clients for individual therapy. Jen here is our clinical manager and one of the clinicians that sees clients. And then the third thing we do is we run a 5-day intensive outpatient program that teaches resiliency skills for vets and first responders who are thinking they need a little bit more of an intensive it's almost like a retreat format for 5 days.
So it'd be 5 days of all day long.
Yeah, it's like 8 a.m. to 3 p.m., but yeah, basically all day long. And those are the three things we do outside of appearances like this and little consulting here and there. But,
Well, no, you did another thing just last week, didn't you, with the Vermont State Police?
oh yeah, we had the Vermont State Police's members assistance team come, and we did like a demo day of programming for them, just so they could see what it would be like a day in the life of our 5-day program.
Oh,
Okay, that's great.
yeah, that's
Like
good.
dip your toes in, but don't make the commitment yet.
Sure.
Yeah.
And that members assistance team, their role is to help other state troopers that are in need of some kind of help, to coordinate services and things like that. So we had 20 people total show up, which was an incredible turnout, and which represents, I think, quite a commitment from the state police
Yeah.
to taking care of their own members. You very rarely see that type of commitment for like a demo day like we did, so that was very cool.
Nice. So that's like a peer-to-peer. Their
Yeah.
program is like a peer-to-peer
Yeah.
counseling ideas.
That members assistance team is essentially a peer support.
Nice.
It's for the state police by the state police.
Yeah. So when sorry.
I was just going to say, just to back up a tiny bit in 2020. So you want to kind of tell exactly how you ended up here. You were working somewhere else. You had a dedicated group, and then COVID hit,
Yeah.
and your program was shuttered. But you believed in your program,
Yeah.
and you believed it was important.
That's right.
And so you decided to take a leap of faith,
That's right.
a big leap of faith, and create your own program.
Yeah.
And you have grown exponentially since like the first. I think we've had you guys on 2 or 3 times. This may be the 3rd time. You've
Yeah.
grown pretty exponentially.
Yeah, we're still here.
You are.
We
You
are
are.
alive and kicking. We are
are.
expanding. Things are going well. Finances always remain tight and uncertain in a
challenge.
small nonprofit like ours. But the way we got here to this building is you guys were the first ones that would work with us so that we could get this started.
Yeah.
We looked for several other places to bring our ideas in our program, and there was like no flexibility on rent or anything like that, and it would not have been possible without this place here.
I think you have a sympathetic ear here.
It
You
certainly
do.
feels that way.
Well, and it's also it's the mission of the building
Mm-hmm.
is to provide services, social services, health services to the community.
Mm-hmm.
So it fit 100% within our mission, and we just got creative in how exactly it happened.
Yeah, well,
I needed a space that needed cleaning up, and you needed a space, and you did sweat equity, and it all worked.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you've now. It sounds like you've now expanded from not just the actual like firefighters and police officers and first responders, but now you have some peer support for spouses or partners as well. That's a new component that you're offering?
Yeah, we've been working with a large professional fire department in the area on a variety of different like training projects, and they had this idea to bring the firefighters and their spouses together in one big room to do a little education about the effects of the job. Not to get anyone off the hook for friction in the family, but to explain, and that worked very well. And a big part of that was our deputy director, Joe Gorman's wife, Erin, who of course Joe Gorman was a firefighter and a retired police officer for many years. So Erin brings that experience of being the spouse of someone who is working these jobs.
I'm doing both of them.
Yeah,
Wow. Talk about
exactly.
glutton for
Yeah,
punishment.
yeah. So she's great. She's been a teacher. She had a long career as a teacher, so she's been in the human services field, and she provides for our in-service trainings and for our alumni group, people that have been through our program. She provides some spousal support and like little family type of support. That's a good addition.
I imagine, especially around here, where there's so many volunteer fire departments and things, where people are being called from their home to an automobile accident where there may be fatalities and trauma and all these things. The person that's behind is just almost as involved as the person who's actually gone out and seen it, because they have to then come back. It comes back to them, and they may not have been prepared either.
For sure.
How do you feel about that, Jen? Do you think this is going to be a big plus in the
Yeah, I think it's a game changer, honestly. We've been hearing for a long time from partners of people who've come through the program how beneficial it would feel to have their own support, because we do have a really strong alumni network. We do weekly Zoom meetings, we do in-person meetings every once in a while. But that support for the people who are home, just like you described, and when someone's been doing the job for 10, 20, 30 years, it has a very real impact, and it can impact the way you are as a person. And that impacts at home.
And I can think the concept of trauma has sort of changed over the years. Everybody sort of had this idea of the Iraq War or what the Gulf War, and things happened, and then people came away from that. But with these local volunteers, it's almost like a pearl that layers of trauma are building and building and building until it creates something that's really not pleasant.
Yeah, it's
So that's what you guys are working with now. It seems like the whole field has sort of shifted in a way.
Do you find people are more, I guess it'd be less, that people are less reluctant to accept help? Do you find that, because I imagine it's a tough sell to the market that you're dealing with, that they need some support. They need, is it becoming a little bit easier? Is it becoming more?
I would say yes and no. I think some departments, some people, some areas are really progressive and see the benefit of it and know it's key to long-term retention of employees, And other places, the stigma of getting help is still there.
That's what I wondered. That was the word I was looking for, and I couldn't
Yeah.
quite grasp from the universe the stigma.
It means you're weak,
Yeah.
or they question that you can do your job, which just isn't true.
Yeah.
An interesting dynamic on that, though, that we've been noticing is our clients are almost all working professionals that are still working or are near retirement. We got a lot of young guys and gals that come through. It's very interesting to see that the younger ones are much more open and much more willing to be vulnerable, which is part of what it takes to do this type of work. And we love all of our clients, but some of the ones that have been on the job for 25 years are, they've been in that culture for 25 years. If you don't talk about anything, you just one foot in front of the other.
Whatever,
Exactly. So there's also, Jen spoke about the different philosophies and departments, which is very true. I think there's also an interesting age thing that's happening.
Oh, interesting. And it makes sense. It makes
Yeah.
100% sense. And haven't you, if I'm remembering or understanding correctly, you're doing some work like on the front end, like preventative, like going into training academies and giving this as part of their training, the skill set that you teach, so that they have that tool in their toolbox before they begin the job. Has that been? Am I correct in that?
Yeah, that's what we do in our in-service training. Different offerings that we have, but that's the idea, to bring these skills to the department. We always talk about how difficult it is to accumulate this amount of stress and trauma over the course of a career, but we don't want to make it sound like it's impossible to have a long and satisfying career. It's not impossible, it's just not free. You have to incorporate a practice into your life and into your week to offset that trauma. So that's what we bring to departments. And the emphasis is it's the same material, but the emphasis is a little different. If they come to us for help, emphasis is a little different whether we go to them for training, but it's the same material.
Nice. And so you, as a small nonprofit, as you stated, it's always a challenge to find funding, to keep the doors open. So you are in the process, or you're doing right now, an online auction.
Yeah.
So we want to start to talk about that a little bit. I just don't want us to get so deeply involved that we run out of time to promote what you came in for. So tell us the concept and how it works and where we have some examples here. So.
Yeah, I think I wanted to get a little creative. We've been talking for a while about different ways to raise funds and kind of how to keep supporting the work that we do. And I don't even know how it happened, but the idea of a silent auction popped into my head. And then, we all started doing some legwork and asked friends and some of our alumni and friends of friends to donate items. And I think we have 34 total.
Nice.
Pretty wide variety.
I did peek on the online auction, and yeah, you have is it Celtics tickets?
Yep, we have Celtics tickets.
You have some art. You have some books. You have is it a getaway on a?
Yep, we have two. So we have a 2-night barn loft stay in
Okay.
Chester, Vermont, and then we have 7 days, 6 nights in Ormond Beach, Florida.
Nice.
Right on the beach. It's gorgeous.
Talk about stress reliever.
Exactly.
Just saying, either one of them actually.
Yeah.
Whatever your thing is. So, where can people access the online auction, and kind of how is it? Like you can go in and up your bid. Is that okay?
Yep, it's through it's a free platform called Zeffy, Zeffy. I think we gave you the link for our auction specifically.
Okay.
But yeah, you go and it shows you kind of you can scroll through all the items. Each has a description and a couple pictures usually of what they are, and then you can put a bid.
And can you see what the last highest bid is so that you can up that?
Yeah, I believe
Okay.
so. Yep, and then there's a minimum bid
Okay.
increase.
Okay. And what are some of the things you have here?
So here we have a couple books that were donated by Ted Benson on timber framing. This is a signed
signed
edition.
books.
Yeah. Local timber framer. Lila, our office manager, and Mike's wife, who does a lot of work with us as well in our groups. She designs most of our
What would you
graphic
say?
artwork. I know, how do you describe it?
Visual arts, graphic
the posters and stuff for our program. And we do a retreat in the fall up on Lake George. And this was one of the pieces of art that she designed for that.
Nice.
Has a nice quote on it. Let's do the final piece of art. This is some artwork that I made, actually. I traveled around
Very
Central
cool.
and South America for a while, and I do some photography on the side as my own self-care and stress relief. And I like to kind of put them together in
like a
different
mosaic.
collages. Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
We have also a bunch of different, I think we have 8 or 9 total limited edition Code 3 Classics die-cast collectibles. I brought one of them. This is Hazmat 1 from FDNY. We have 4 different ones that are that particular style. Then we have other things like this gift basket from Badger Bomb, which I don't know if you use Badger, but they are fantastic.
It is a good product,
good.
yeah.
It was really good.
Our friends, the Bitten Benders, work at Benson Wood and Badger Ball. So we got.
Sorry, we had to get that in there.
There you go.
We had to get that in
Yeah,
there.
yes.
The
I don't know if
alliteration.
I could have pulled that off.
Working on that for a while.
Five times
I was in the car today.
Yeah, and we have things like a good friend of ours has a company called 802 Paparazzi. She does pet photography.
Oh, I did see that.
Yeah,
because I was like,
yeah. Yep, and she travels everywhere in New England to do it.
not that I don't, have a gazillion pictures of my dog already.
These
can't
are
have
professional
Yes, professional photos. Like, yes, that's
Yeah.
what we need.
Yep.
Does she do cats too?
Yes.
The cat is less reluctant to be taken photographs of,
Yeah.
just saying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It takes a little more skill.
Nice.
So when is the auction's going right now?
The auction's going right now, and
And
it's
how long do people have to get involved?
It's live through 11:59 p.m. on February 28th.
Okay,
So through the end of the month.
you got to
Yep.
get on it.
Yeah, and most items are, like the Patriots tickets are further out, their next season, which isn't announced yet. Go Eagles, sorry. My stepmom's going to love that. Yeah, but the Celtics tickets we have, I believe, are for March 5th.
Okay.
So those are
That's a
those are
quick
right
turnaround
away.
then.
Yeah.
You must be very happy if you were an Eagles fan. 'cause
I
that
am.
was
I'm from
a-
Pennsylvania, so it's
Oh.
I'm sorry. Not sorry though.
That's funny.
Yeah, we have things like H&R Block, one of the locations in Keene, donated a tax preparation service.
Nice.
Um,
Very apropos this time of
Yeah.
year.
Yep, yep, exactly. There's a 1-month gym membership with personal training from someone I know personally who does very, very good work down in Brattleboro. And a bunch of different gift cards, quite a few over in Keene, so Toadstool
Yeah,
Bookstore, Brewbaker's Cafe, and Monadnock Food Co-op.
Wow.
Yeah, and then so we were talking about our peer support earlier. One of our peer support associates, Alex Richardson, works at DBC Rentals Plus in Brattleboro, and they've donated an equipment rental gift certificate,
Nice.
which is really great.
So it sounds like there's something in kind of every price point. So
Yeah.
people can, I think sometimes when people think of online auctions, they think of just the big ticket items and, maybe I can't can't bid on those because starting
Right.
opening bid is like $300 or something like that.
Right.
But having, the gift certificates and also things that you can use immediately too,
Yeah.
and in a price point. And every little bit that you bid or donate or pay, it adds up.
Yeah, it
does.
really
Right?
does.
So you
It
might
really
not
does.
think that you're doing a good thing because you just got a $25 gift card or a $50 gift card, but it all adds up over the course
That's-
of
It
everything.
really does.
Most of our revenue that we don't pry out of the insurance companies who are actively trying
I was
to.
going to say, and if anyone that
Yeah.
deals with insurance
Yeah.
companies,
We
that
get-
is the right term.
We get
is to
started
pry
on
it
that,
out.
but other than that, most of our revenue comes from small donations. We get a lot of small donations,
Yeah.
which is good. Also in the auction, I noticed there's like a few cool like first edition books. I feel
Oh,
like
yeah, I saw
the
that.
I feel like the
Yeah.
audience of the feed might be particularly
Oh.
interested. There's first edition Steinbeck's in there.
Yep.
Wow.
A couple
Nice.
of other interesting
Yeah.
things.
Yeah.
Where'd you score those from?
Those are actually from my personal collection.
Oh,
yeah,
wow.
my
Nice.
dad was a first edition collector.
Oh, wow.
So he has.
I think there's a lot
really
of
cool
people out
ones.
there that like that type of
Yeah.
stuff. Yeah.
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 Yeah, that's pretty cool.
I figured there's The Winter of Our Discontent by Steinbeck is one of them, so I figured that was appropriate
Wow,
timing.
That could sell.
I was going to say, just saying, that's pretty apropos right now.
Yeah.
So, Frontline Foundations of North America, have you dominated in North America yet, or what are your plans for that North America? Like,
Yeah,
what's
that's-
next on the horizon? You've
What's
been
next? Wow.
finding more and more things. I know we briefly talked about maybe like Frontline Foundation show on Fact TV. Just giving it a quick
Yeah, that's
plug.
exciting. I
Yeah.
have some ideas.
But,
Yeah, we just continue to develop the North America thing. We planted that flag. It hasn't panned out yet. We're waiting for our first Canadian firefighters or whatever. Haven't gotten any yet, but we just want to. The only thing we care about is doing the work that we do, and we want to be able to continue to do this work at the level we do it, which is a very high level. So what's next on the horizon? More things like this. Maybe a little bit of a show. Maybe. We do a retreat that Jen mentioned. Every year we do a fall retreat, which is sort of an invitational thing because the level of work we ask people to do at that retreat is invitational. We want to do more. We're going to have an alumni picnic for all of our alumni. We have over 100 alumni. So we're going to, a very nice location
Oh,
in
that's
Grafton
really cool.
this summer, and maybe a couple other events like that, just to continue to slowly build this community that we have.
So when you originally started, I remember you had a real focus on mindfulness through outdoor activities. Are you still continuing that vein, or?
Yeah, it's interesting how things evolve. We still have a mindfulness modality, so everything we do is based around the 4 foundations of mindfulness, which is why we're called Frontline Foundations, by the way, which turns out to be confusing, but that's too late now. We've sort of transitioned a little bit away. We don't do much fishing anymore. We still do some hiking. We like to get people out into a natural environment, away from all the distractions. But one thing that we've been doing is we've partnered with a local wildlife rehabilitator, blacksmith, artist,
Really?
and all-around amazing person, Fred Homer, who some people I'm sure are familiar with. When you see an injured barred owl on the road and you pick it up, he's the guy you bring it to.
Ah,
And if he can release it into the wild, he will. Otherwise, they usually end up at VINS or at the Southern Vermont Natural History Museum. But he's just an amazing guy, so we bring our clients to see him.
Yeah.
In the same time slot where we may have gone fishing years ago, we'll expose our clients to this type of thing. Here's a guy that's 85 years old and has figured out how to be happy with what he has, which is really there's no way I could do it justice just by talking about
Right,
it.
right.
but
Well, I
yeah.
have to say, I still go out and look for green herons at Herons
Yeah,
Cove after
yeah.
spending time with you.
That's
It's like,
right.
just amazing.
That's right. I remember
Open
that.
new doors.
Yeah.
So we have about a minute and 30 seconds. So let's just reiterate how to get in touch with you, like your contact information. A little bit, it's the link will be up for the online auction, and anything else you want to close with?
Yeah, our website is frontlinefoundations.org. There's an S on the end of foundations. Our main number is 802-732-2518. A main email address is flf@frontlinefoundations.org. That's how you get in touch with us. Send us emails, give us a call. Anything else about that?
Yeah, that sounds great.
And I just think you have maybe your first guest for your first show. Maybe have Fred as your guest on the first
Yeah,
show.
that's a great idea.
Yeah, just saying.
That's a really good
Just
idea.
saying.
I'll write that down.
Yeah, write that down.
All right. Well,
Okay.
is that it for this week?
That is.
That it? All right. We'll see you next week
Bye, community.
for the feed. Bye, community.
My God.